Hello and welcome to NAFDAC and Your Health. My name is Tosing Omolaja. This is the program that brings you all the important information you need to know about NAFDAC, the agency saddled with the responsibility of safeguarding our health by ensuring that the foods, drugs, cosmetics and medical equipment made available to us are safe and wholesome.
In a time of pandemic like we are experiencing in the world today, issues of public health and food safety cannot be overemphasized. As the world continues to groan under the scourge of COVID-19, all hands must be on deck to ensure that our personal health and indeed public health is not compromised. In Nigeria, one major issue that must continue to get reiterated for public attention is the various practices some animal farmers at different levels of animal production engage in. And this has to do with application of veterinary medicine, adherence to withdrawal periods, and especially the misuse and abuse of antibiotics and hormones in animal farming.
People go and buy human drugs from pharmacies and concoct it to give to their livestock. And we think the more we add, the better. So we are now going above the level, the permissible level, despite the fact that it's not good at any level now. Because when I eat a poultry, chicken with antibiotics, I'm already taking the antibiotics. And when I keep eating the chicken with antibiotics, I'm eating it every day. I'm taking in antibiotics every day at small levels, very low levels. And if I have infection, the microbes will get used to that low petting, I will call it petting levels. You are petting them. And when you pet them for so long, they develop resistance. They develop a protein coat around them. So it doesn't affect them when you now use the right level. That is what is called, or part of what is called antimicrobial resistance. So when you now have infection and you now use the right level, it doesn't work. And then the person may die. That is why it is extremely important to control first the level of antibiotics permissible in livestock until we get to a point where we do away with it completely. But some people are not doing that. A lot of children have antimicrobial resistance taken from their parents, and 50% of them die. That's how serious it is. We can transmit it, that resistance, to our own children, to newborns. The same thing with hormones. People use hormones to make the poultry or the livestock bigger or more productive. They use it in fish. But whatever you give to chicken, whatever you give to fish, you take it. And if I'm taking hormone from fish, on a daily basis, it will start changing my own cellular components to the extent that young children that start taking it, they may start getting bigger at a premature age. So that is the problem of food and why I'm very particular about it.
Veterinary medicinal product or other trace elements or acaricide, those are the chemical that are applied on the body of the animal to kill ectoparasite, parasites that are on the skin or dress, or any of the product that is given to animals through their mouth or put in their water or feed and the animal takes it in. Those particular products can be in the system of the animal. So if the animal is slaughtered, you can still have traces of this particular group of products. So residue in animal is that amount of remnant of any of these products that is above accepted limit. In the food standard, we have what we call the maximum residual level. So any quantity of this product that is above maximum allowable limit can cause public health problem.
The extent to which this can negatively impact health is quite enormous and can even be fatal, which is why we all must pay serious attention to what we consume, especially of animal origin and where we purchase them from.
Consumption of animals with drug residues can bring about cancer in the individual. Of course, a one-time exposure is not going to lead to cancer, but when you do it repeatedly over time, then it speaks volumes in terms of the danger. There's also what we call hypersensitivity reaction. Hypersensitivity reaction, and that really speaks basically to intolerance. Things that you've been able to tolerate, that your body has been tolerating before, no longer can tolerate them. You know, there is what we call autoimmune reaction. An autoimmune reaction whereby the body all of a sudden doesn't recognize the cells of the body as being self. It recognizes it as foreign, and then it begins to self-destruct. All of these can be a fallout from drug residue in animals. And then, of course, we also have a disruption of what we call normal intestinal flora. You know, we all look at bacteria as being very bad. Yes, to a large extent. But there are some bacteria that are beneficial even for human health, in human existence. And there are some what we call normal intestinal flora, meaning that those bacteria are normally in the intestine, guarding the functionality of the intestine. But when you now have some ingestion of some of these residues, through animal consumption, that now wipe out these intestinal flora, it can give in to some other issues, some health problems in the humans. And of course, it can also lead to, I'm talking about drug residue in animal, it can also lead to some reproduction or reproductive challenges. We have escalating cases of people getting married today and not being able to give birth. Apart from causing reproductive challenges or disorders, there's also what we call teratogenicity, which basically means that it causes malformations in the growing fetus in the womb. In other words, it's also a health risk to the pregnant woman for the fetus that is still growing, because the baby can come out deformed. A lot of the deformations that we see is as a result of the things that people eat when they were pregnant in the first place. It can also cause kidney issues. A lot of people today have a kidney problems, you know, that they're already going through dialysis. Some are already being asked to go and do a transplant. All these things don't need to happen if we will moderate and do the right thing.
For animal farmers, the major requirement will be to strictly adhere to withdrawal periods when veterinary medicines are administered to their animals. NAFDAC, as the regulatory body responsible for this, has made it mandatory for producers of these medicines to make clear on the labels the appropriate withdrawal periods to aid farmers' actions.
One of the aspects of labeling requirement in NAFDAC, if you are registering any of these products that can be administered to animal, you must indicate the withdrawal period clearly, so that the person that is using it will know that this product, if I use, I must leave this animal for 10 days, 14 days, 7 days, depending on the product. Like in lactating animals, that means the cow or goat, you will not consume the milk for some time depending on the product. Sometimes 3 days, sometimes 7 days. So that for whoever that is taking the milk, which in most cases, younger ones were being given the fresh milk, so that they will not be affected by this high residue of this product in the milk that they may consume. Within the withdrawal period, this product can either be eliminated in the body completely, or it will be reduced to a level that doesn't cause harm to the body. Lack of adherence to withdrawal period will lead to high amount of this residue in foods of animal origin. And NAFDAC, being the statutory agency that is saddled with the responsibility of regulating food and drugs, decided to form a committee that works on specifically antimicrobial residue and other residues that are finally seen in various foods that human eats. Currently, the agency is working with Federal Department of Veterinary Services of Federal Ministry of Agric. This work is being supported by Department of Food and Drugs of UK. We are developing what we call National Action Plan on Residue Monitoring or Residue Surveillance in the country to ensure that we make the necessary surveillance and also we monitor the residue level in food in Nigeria.
NAFDAC and your health will be back in a moment. Please stay tuned.
The MedSafety app is the latest reporting tool introduced by the National Agency for Food, Drug Administration and Control in November 2020 as part of the Innovative Medicines Initiative project. The app is made available to the public in collaboration with World Health Organization, Uppsala Monitoring Center, Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency, UK, and National Agency for Food, Drugs and Administration and Control, NAFDAC. The MedSafety app allows users to track safety information of medicines, vaccines and other health products, report adverse drug reaction to a medicine or vaccine, and view data on suspected side effects. When you have received your COVID-19 vaccine, you can use the MedSafety app to report any adverse reaction or side effect you may feel. The app can be used by anybody, irrespective of whether you are a medical practitioner or not. You, your family and friends, everyone can download and use the MedSafety app to report adverse drug reaction. Just search for MedSafety on Google Play Store for Android and App Store for iOS. When using the app for the first time, the user needs to select his or her region, in this case, Nigeria, and also choose the preferred language of choice. The user will then be taken to the login page where you create an account by providing your email and password or proceed as a guest. To create an account, you are required to provide the following details: reporter type, example, physician or pharmacist, as well as their name and email address, password with at least 9 characters with one uppercase letter and a number. Read the privacy statement and accept. Once you are logged in, the user is presented with a number of tabs, which includes news, products and watch lists. Under the Report tab, the user can report a new suspected adverse drug reaction, ADR. On opening a new report, the user is prompted to input patient details, which include initials, sex, and date of birth. The user is then required to input details of the suspected medicine. These include suspected medicine name, other drug details such as strength, batch, dosage details. Multiple suspect drugs and concomitant drugs can be added at any time. The report can be saved and completed at a later time. A saved report can be found on Pending Reports and can be continued by clicking on the report and continuing from where the user stopped. Enter reaction details, reaction date and outcomes. Multiple suspects' reaction can also be added. Also, further details about the report can also be included, such as did the reaction cause prolonged hospitalization, disability, congenital anomaly, or birth defect, life-threatening results in deaths, and so on. Finally, you can also add details of any relevant medical history before submitting the report. The user receives a message on the app confirming submission and an acknowledgement in the mail for submission. Reports can be created and saved without internet connection and be sent whenever internet connection is available. The product tabs show all medicines in the NAFDAC list database. It's easier to navigate to a drug or vaccine of interest, and this data is obtained from the WHO Uppsala Monitoring Center. User can also add products of interest to their watch list to get the latest information on the drugs. All products added to the watch list can be viewed in the watch list tab. The News tab displays drug safety information by NAFDAC. This is usually up to date with drug safety information. Registered users can also edit their profile or change app settings. For more information on the app, please contact the National Pharmacovigilance Center (NPC) at NAFDAC headquarters, plot 2032, Olusegun Obasanjo Way, Wuse Zone 7, Abuja, or call 09290511110 or send email to medsafetyapp@nafdac.gov.ng or pharmacovigilance@nafdac.gov.ng.
Welcome back. If you're just joining in, you're watching NAFDAC and your health.
The agency has also banned a number of antibiotics and other additives used in animal food production, as these have been found to be injurious to the animals and by extension to those who consume them.
The agency discovered through a lot of research and data generated that antibiotics residue in animal products is a challenge to us in this country. And because of that, to enhance rational use of antibiotics in the livestock sector, the agency put up a policy that antibiotics should not be used in animal feed production as growth promoter. And this has been re-echoed time and time again. Not that antibiotics cannot be used in livestock production, but is not allowed to be used as growth promoter because of the residue, the challenges of residue that will pose to us. And alternative profiles for this are probiotics and prebiotics, then organic acid. So other items that are additives that are banned in animal feed production is antibiotics and gentle violet. Gentle violet and antibiotics are usually used as a mold inhibitor, so that when they add it to the feed, it will prevent mold to grow on the feed, and thereby reducing the risk of production of mycotoxin in the feed, so that the mycotoxin level of the feed will not be so high above threshold. However, we discovered that because of antimicrobial resistance, antibiotics are no longer allowed for use as mold inhibitor, and gentle violet are equally not allowed for use because of the carcinogenic risk that it poses to the animal and invariably to man. So the alternative available for that is basically organic acid. A very good example is propionic acid, which has been found to be very effective, cost-effective, and very readily available. So recently, etosequin is equally not allowed in use as additive in animal feed in Nigeria. The use of etosequin is basically as an antioxidant, especially in fish meal. But we discovered that there is problem with this product because of the metabolite that come out of it, and the oxidative etosequin is not safe for human consumption. So the alternative to these are PHT, butyl hydroaconate, and butylate hydrotoluene, which are very effective antioxidants. Other antioxidants that can be used instead are vitamin C, then citric acid, which is an organic acid, can be used equally. Then the fourth one is cyromycin. We instituted a field trial on cyromycin, and the result came out, and it was discovered that the residue of cyromycin will not be out of broiler meat even at 28 days withdrawal period. And we need just 52 days to produce broiler. If you are going to produce after 52 days, we're still keeping the bird for 28 to 30 days before it can be safe for human consumption, then it is not an economical venture that any farmer should venture into. So these 4 items are critically on a NAFDAC list as banned items.
NAFDAC prioritizes enlightenment for stakeholders in this sector to ensure that they have the necessary information and technical know-how that guarantees that the animals being produced for consumption in Nigeria are safe for consumption.
We are reaching out to the professionals that use these products. We are reaching out to farmers that actually apply some of these products, sometimes without the consultation or with professionals. We are embarking on massive campaigns and sensitization on safe and responsible use of all the regulated products, particularly veterinary medicinal products, pesticides and agrochemical, which all may have a high residue in the food that finally finds its way on our table. The agency has a very dynamic website now. So most of this information, they are also on the website. And we always call on the general public to reach out to nearest health facilities or any of the NAFDAC offices across the country for any advice on some of these issues.
N'ịgbaso usoro mbọ NAFDAC na-agba iji kwụsị irite ọya na nri nakwa ime ka ihe gbasara ahụike kwụrụ chịnchịm n'obodo anyị, ha ji ohere a na-enye onye ọbụla ndụmọdụ ndị a gbasara ijikwa na nchekwa nri. Kemikal abụghị nri eji na ire gị wee lelee ya n'ihi na o nwere ike igbu gị. Ọ jọgburu udele ma sigbue nkapị iji paracetamol ma ọ bụ ọgwụ wee sie anụ, o nwere ike imebi imeju obi gị nakwa ngwongwo ndị ọzọ dị gị n'ahụ. Ejina kabide wee mee mkpụrụ osisi ka ọ chaa acha, ọ na-ebute kansa ma mebikwa imeju na mkpụrụ agbada. Ọ bụ ihe jọgburu onwe ya iji sniper wee chụọ ahụhụ na ijiji na nri n'ihi na isi nri esi anaghị ewepụ sniper. Erina ma ọ bụ ṅụọ eshiri na akụrụ akụ mkpọrọgwụ na mkpa akwụkwọ enweghị akara NAFDAC, o nwere ike igbu mmadụ. Itinyefe oke ogiri oyibo nke a na-akpọ monosodium glutamate na nri n'ụdị mkpụrụ ma ọ bụ ndị dị na ngwugwu adịghị mma chaa chaa. Etinyena kemikal na nri ma ọ bụ ihe ọṅụṅụ iji mee ka ọ gbaa ụka ma ọ bụ ime ka ụtọ ya dị iche. Ime ka nri dị mma bụ oke na ọlụ onye ọbụla. NAFDAC, ichekwa ahụike obodo anyị.
That's it for today. Make it a date, same time, same station next week for a fresh edition. In the meantime, if you have comments, complaints, or you want to report activities of fake drugs or adulterated food product peddlers, our doors are always open.
You can reach NAFDAC via toll-free numbers. For inquiries, call 0700 162 3322. For complaints, call 0800 162 3322. You may also email NAFDAC at nafdac.gov.ng. If you have complaints about any form of misconduct, you can reach the Reforms Unit via email, reforms@nafdac.gov.ng, or call the Reforms hotlines on 0909 763 0506 or 0909 763 0507. NAFDAC, customer focused, agency minded.
Remember, COVID-19 is real. Please ensure you and your family follow the safety measures as outlined by the NCDC. Stay away from crowded places as much as possible, and if you must be out there, please wear a face mask. Wash your hands regularly with soap and water, and ensure you use only NAFDAC-approved alcohol-based hand sanitizers. See you next week. Stay safe.